use a little bit of love.
I kind of feel like the tunnel is its downside.
Yeah. But
that's really its problem area.
But at the same time, I feel like we work around it and still have like a great time every time we're fighting there.
Yeah, we do.
Whether we're like the ones in the tunnel or the ones outside trying to fight the tunnel, we either just wait for a peek or we, you know, like aggressively peek hard in that tunnel.
Yeah.
I love the angles and the geometry and everything about this POI. I love the rotation from one boss layer to the other. I love the roof. I love the fucking upstairs on the other boss layer with like that balcony.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best in the game, hands down for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my A tier. It's definitely better than Catfish, no question. And yeah, I think it's probably better than, I don't know. I do really enjoy fighting at Devant Ranch.
I do too, but I think Fort is way better designed than Devant Ranch.
Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, no, that's fair. I'm gonna put it in S. It's kind of towards the tail end of my S.
Yeah.
But I could agree with that.
Yeah, I don't really have like any complaints about Fort. The only thing I
bring back the chair stream. Okay.
Quite honestly.
Okay.
Is in the boss lair on the left with the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than having two fucking crank doors that take forever to open, have some sort of like only have that on one side or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like make the other one broken that you can always just run up.
Yeah.
Let them put traps there or whatever to block it off, but at least give us that option.
Yeah, I could agree. Because getting in from down there is tough.
Yeah, but I think most of the time our fights, we don't even try to get in there. We just usually do like long
so many places
picks
to peek from.
Yeah, we do picks from like in those little tiny windows, dude. Those are so fun to headshot somebody through.
And you can get cheeky with those from the inside. I mean,
yeah, yep. Yeah, that's a great place, dude. One of my favorites, and it always has been.
Yeah,
I've always loved fighting at the fort. I don't know that it's better than the First Testimonial Church though. It's definitely an S tier, but I don't think it's better than the church.
I agree.
Docks.
I'm a big fan of Docks. I think it's quite fun to fight at. I definitely I kind of feel like it's better than Catfish in terms of its layout and how you can fight in it and around it.
Yeah,
because Catfish has literally one functional side.
Yeah, though the other side of Docks is like edge of the map.
Yeah, no, Docks absolutely has a whole side that's kind of, well, see, it's like not really functional.
Side's really bad.
But it's also got that roof you can get on.
Wide open. Yeah, but I'm talking like outside of the main compound.
Yeah.
Like the whole surrounding area is kind of bad. Yeah. Like approach wise. Even coming from like Maw, that side is bad because it's just open.
It doesn't have a whole lot of great approaches.
I feel like if they added more dense woods around the whole outside of it, I'd love it. Honestly. Like to be able to sit out in those woods and like fight around that too. Because what I find is problematic right now is with those little open woods that we have. If we're out in those, we're really not at an advantage at all because they're just so open. But then we also get inside of the boss lair area, like the compound, and there's not a ton of things to do outside either.
No, you kind of get.
There's only
I feel like this boss layer,
windows.
You get kind of aggressive in because you can get on the platform, actually on the bad side where there's all the water. You can get on that catwalk on there, you know, from the stairwell, and you can kind of put some pressure. There's that nice hole on the side with the little metal roof.
Yeah,
that whole little area is nice. the side from Brinery, you get up on that roof, you can cross over to the windows. You can put like a lot of pressure. I don't know. I really...
I like it, but I don't think it's definitely not an A tier for me.
Really?
I think it's like a low B.
I just don't think that Catfish, despite having one side that's like S tier, I don't really feel like Catfish has a whole lot else to it that really does anything for it.
We also really love, right?
Yeah. But I personally like the Docks boss. Well, I don't know if I like fighting from inside the boss lair. It's kind of hard to peek from.
It's horrible on the inside.
Yeah.
The only thing I really think it has going for it is like that drop hole that you can drop through. And like also being able to rotate out on that like little inner balcony.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
But I'd rather fight Chapel than Docks, I think.
I don't think I would personally.
And Darrow, I'd rather fight than Docks. And Brinery, probably, honestly. Especially for like boss lair sieging. I like the spawn fights at Docks, but I don't really like the boss lair sieging. I think it's going to be low B for me.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place to put it. I do think I'd rather go to Darrow and Blanc. I have Perish in my B as well. We're going to see, that might get moved. It's kind of helpful once you start filling these out, like, and start placing them where you think they have to go. It kind of moves around some others. Okay. Golden Acres. This one's kind of tough.
Yeah, I like being in the, like, close at that compound.
Yeah.
But if you're far, that hayfield is horrible.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to peek from on the inside, on the hayfield side. It's like below Fishery for me. It's not as quite as bad as Cypress and Graves for me, but it's like
on the same level as those. Yeah, I think
those others. Yeah, it's pretty not good. Like, I don't hate it, but
I don't know if I'd rather fight at Fishery than Golden.
I think I would.
I would, yeah. Fishery's kind of fun.
Because I can make Fishery work with like a Vetterly or a Winnie. Yeah. But Golden, I have to have like long ammo. I feel like usually, or like Zerg Rush with a shotgun. Those are like the only two.
Although we've experimented a little bit with using choke bombs offensively at Golden, and that worked really, really well.
Yeah.
To create opportunities.
But I don't think that's Golden specific, right? Like I just feel like Golden in general, that whole surrounding area, you like need long ammo.
Yeah.
I don't think like the choke bomb plays like I'm kind of leaving strategy out of this a little bit and thinking more just in terms of like layout and like what fight potential we do have from like outside too. And I feel like outside fight potential
outside sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Healing Waters Church. I enjoy fighting here.
I do too.
Kind of on all sides. I like the fights outside. I wouldn't say that I love trying to pick people that are inside. Like, that's kind of difficult.
When they're in the church. I hate it when they're underground. The underground is the killer for this.
Yeah.
The fog underground.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
It is horrendous.
On the flip side of that, though, I think if the boss layer isn't down there, being able to rotate through those tunnels and come up a different side of the church is really cool. I like the option to do that. I've done that in a lot of fights, and it's been really, in a situation where I might have died, I was able to survive and create a new structure of the fight or whatever.
I've had that as well, where I've like made some shit work under there, but
I think fighting there.
I think that the underground boss lair gives this thing like really bad points in my book. Like I don't enjoy it because of that.
You don't think that all of the other positives of it would outweigh the down a little bit? Because I mean, because we put catfish in A, and I think that has one functional side and a boss layer that we like fighting in.
So I do like the POI, right? Like I like it. I like fighting there, but I don't think it is like better than catfish by any means. I would probably put it on like a B tier, because of my enjoyment fighting there. But I feel like the underground design is horrible. I don't like that even those, like, you know, there's what, 4 above ground entrances. Yeah, they all just connect to one tunnel, right? Like, or well, 2 of them connect to one tunnel and the other 2 connect to the other tunnel. One has a fucking crank door, which is stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And then the fog underneath is bad. You can't, like, that whole underground boss layer is completely negated for me because it is the fog is so bad. The sound design isn't great in those tunnels, which is why I also don't like underground boss layers. And I also feel like the Graves lends itself to like nade spam a lot, like the outside area, like the outside wall kind of lends itself to nade spam. But I do like fighting there. So for me personally, I'd rather fight Chapo any day. So I'm gonna put it like low B.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like I think I would put it. I think I would rather fight there than Blanc, which is in my B. Darrow's the only thing in front of Blanc. I don't know if I'd rather fight a church or Darrow. I think I'd rather fight a church than Darrow, personally. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I think church is good.
Yeah.
Ish. It's good-ish. Like, it's not amazing. It's like, it's pretty good, but there's a lot of things that kind of annoy me. Hemlock and Hiddy.
I think this place is super fun. It's got, you know, it doesn't come without its problems, for sure. I think it's got, you know, I do like that you can play on really any side of this and make it work. You've got some sort of cover or tree line or something to fight from.
Yeah.
I do feel like you are very susceptible to being third party, kind of on regardless of what side you're on. If you're not inside the building, which is difficult because it's just so exposed to everything.
But I also feel like the third parties are like kind of not predictable, but there's enough of like a sight line that you're not going to get like rolled up on by a shotgun.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're going to get shot in the back, but it's going to be from a distance, and a lot of the times we don't get headshotted from it, right?
I like all the windows. I like trying to pick people that are in there, and I feel like when you're inside, you can kind of try to make something happen if you know where they are.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun. I think it's
probably on that same level, honestly, for me, like a B.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's not like, it's not great.
Put it.
It's not great, but it's not like horrible. I would say it's like a good-ish. It's kind of like the same feeling I have as church. No.
I think the boss layer in itself is way better than Blanc's boss layer for sure. And I don't hate the exterior of it. I like Blanc's exterior, I think, is probably better, but
I don't think there's enough ways to push into that boss layer at Hemlock, because most of your pushing potential is that one stairwell that they can just throw concertina in the whole choke area there, and then you can't get in. And then the other way is like through that door that's always barricaded that you can shoot the barricade off, or through a window up top that you have to really expose yourself to get on the roof.
Yeah, that's true.
Or the slide door, which you're never gonna go in that way.
You never do that.
So I feel like the pushing potential wasn't there. I'd almost even put this at Alan's level, like a C.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, the pushing potential really isn't there for this boss layer, in my opinion. I do like the fights that we've had there. Like,
yeah, I feel like fighting at the exterior of Hemlock is way better than Alan's.
Yes, but the interior in Hemlock sucks. Is the problem. Like, fighting the boss layer kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you, like, get repeated. Remember that fight that we had there, dude? That we repeatedly picked those guys, like, fucking 8 times? Like, that's my problem with Hemlock. We can't really capitalize on it because there's always traps in that fucking stairwell, and it's, like, really hard to push.
I think it would be nice if they made that jump spot that we tried to do, that, you know, the one time by that window.
Like a literal jump spot?
Yeah, that a literal one that I could actually get up and go through that if I wanted to. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
It would give you just another...
something that's easy and replicatable.
Something you can do 100% of the time that's designed to do that, because I think that would give you a lot more flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah, because pushing right now is not great in that boss layer, honestly. So that's why I'm putting it at like a C.
I don't know. I see because your C and B are different than mine. For me, like it's right now, it's kind of with Doc's, Blanc, because my C tier has Chapel in it, which yours doesn't. But it's also got Alice and Allen's.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hemlock is with all of those. Kind of, I feel like I like fighting at Hemlock more than I do the other two.
I don't. Yeah.
Really?
I don't. Yeah. Like, it's kind of lucky I didn't put it in D.
Really?
To be honest. Yeah. But I think it's a cool POI, so that's kind of why I'm putting it at C. I'm
putting it above Doc's because I think I'd rather fight there than Doc's if it were up to me. But I do think Blanc is better, which is the one that I have above that.
Yeah.
All right. Heritage Pork.
Kind of mid.
Yeah, it's a little. I kind of feel like
kind of good.
yeah. I don't.
I'm very conflicted because the whole outside sucks. Like the front part where those little buildings are suck. The back part where the hayfield is sucks.
Yeah.
The only thing I like is that hillside side that you look into that little side area that isn't even the boss lair. Like that's the only area I really like there. And I like being in that other side building and like trying to siege the boss lair from that side building. But the rest of it is horrible.
Yeah. I know it almost, I kind of feel like it's sitting between D and E for me.
Yeah, I'm almost putting it on. I'm almost putting it on E.
That's what I was thinking.
Like I like it.
I think it's at the top of my E. I think I'd rather fight there than Cypress.
Yeah, but it's not good.
No, it's not good.
It's really not.
Means.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this one. It's like I like it in theory, but there's so much bad about it.
Honestly, I'm looking at my thing. I think I'd rather fight at Graves than Cypress. I think those fights are way more fun. Cypress is just so limited on what you can even do. I mean, you really can't.
Yeah.
In terms of fighting around it.
Yeah, you know what? That's true because there is that big fucking fence around Graves, or I mean Cypress, that you can't really get over.
Can't get over, and then when you do, what do you do now? I mean, you've got.
And it has that slide gate. That sucks. It makes no sense there. Yeah. I agree. I'm gonna put Cypress below Graves. But Pork is like there as well, just a little bit above Graves in my opinion.
I agree.
Ironworks is a hard one.
I find this one hard. Yeah.
I almost think Ironworks is like a ton of fun, but I almost feel like it's horrible at the same time. Like the fight we had there the other day was dope. Other fights we've had there where we're like, remember that one fight we had where we fought like the whole world. You know, the guy was like on the roof who wasn't even a part of the team that we thought. Like, love it.
Do you
but
think?
Then I also hate it.
I kind of feel like structurally, we might disagree on this. I feel like layout wise, it's better than Catfish. I still, the more I look at Catfish, I love fighting there, and I love that backside. I love the actual boss layer, but I just think like that whole other surrounding area is just a complete disaster. And I feel like Ironworks, well, honestly, it kind of suffers a little bit from the same problem.
Yeah, Ironworks isn't good outside, honestly.
No, it's got a nice half of it that's nice with the other building.
Yeah, but the other side is bad. Like the fort side is bad. The roof that you can get on like both roofs are great though.
Yeah.
Especially with that long sight line all the way to Battery. Like I really love that. The bridge, being able to see the bridge from there. I think the biggest problem I personally have with Ironworks is there's not a lot of peeking into that building at all. Like there's a couple peek holes up top, but you can easily avoid those. But there's the one window that you can see a little bit into there from the roof, but the building just isn't. There's not a lot to peek from, and you also can't wall bang at all because it's fucking metal roof, and well, you can wall bang through the top roof. Yeah. But like all brick. I'm gonna say this is like a C tier for me. Like. Yeah. I think it's fun, but not great. Like it isn't designed the best. It's kind of like same as Hemlock and Allen's and stuff for me.
Yeah, I can't decide if I kind of feel like it's similar to well, Docks. I was gonna say it's kind of similar to Docks, but Docks at least is wood and you can actually wall bang through it and get some picks.
Yeah, that's why I put it below Docks, because I feel like you can't wall bang at all. You just have to siege this layer, and if they're in there with shotguns, you're kind of dead. Especially since a lot of people just concertina that fucking those big metal doors, and one or two are usually barricaded.
Yeah, I agree. Kingsnake Mine.
This one's hard for me, really hard.
Yeah. So it's got an interesting dynamic to it that I don't think it has like a lot of verticality is with all the different mountains and rocks. So it is a little bit, which normally hasn't been a great feature for some of these POIs, but I feel like this one is designed in a way where that really is its kind of shining feature, which is cool.
And they're not super far away from the boss lair that like you can't peek them, right? Like it's not like everybody's sitting there with Mosin snipers looking into that boss lair. They're like, they have to get kind of close-ish to be able to look in those windows up top.
Yeah.
But the other side is horrible. The low side is kind of bad.
Yeah, that side is tough because you can't really do much from there.
Yeah, I mean, when we fight there, we always rotate to the top.
Yeah.
Because that's the only place that we can really siege. But the inside of the boss lair is structured pretty cool. I like that, like, there's two rooms up top and then the big stairwell that goes down into, like, those other lower rooms and then, like, the big open other area. I kind of feel like it falls, like, in the same
like, is it better than Ironworks?
No, I think it's a little bit worse than Ironworks.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
But I like the spawn fights there and everything. I like you know, if you spawn there, you're up on the hill and you can see so far. But also, unless the extract's there, it sucks
really tough to leave
because you have to go down either the one side that has the prison that looks at you, or you go the other way, which, you know, is pretty fucking wide open there as well when you're running through. So I feel like to me this is a D tier, like kind of Golden Acres fishery.
Yeah, I can't. I was trying to figure out. I mean, I definitely think Ironworks is better. I have Alice and Allen's both in the. Those are my only other two in C.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out if it's better than either of those. Like, if I would rather fight there than.
I don't think I would.
Or if it's designed in a better way to. Like, I really the more I think about Alice and Allen's, I just don't think they're laid out that great for success on the outside. I guess
I feel like you're sleeping on
this.
Alice a little bit. Like
So?
I think Alice is really good. Yeah. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good for where we put it. Like I think it's
I think it. Like I do think it sits. I think where it sits is good in our thing. I definitely don't think it has to get moved. I just.
But I think you're like. I don't want to say you're shitting on it, right? But you're like. I think a little overly critical of Alice. I think Alice plays way better than like KingSnake for sure.
I just don't think with Alice you have a whole lot of. Like, well, yeah, maybe it does. What about Allen's?
Because KingSnake also. What about Allen's? I think Allen's still plays. Yeah.
Even with its kind of lackluster
outside
entrances and water, really.
Yeah, because KingSnake, I feel like approach-wise,
you're still really limited on where you can go.
You're either funneled into that stairwell.
Yeah.
Or you hop through that big window up top and then take a bunch of damage falling down.
Yeah.
You come up through that new basement area, which nobody has ever done.
Yeah.
Or you go through the crank door, which never really do. We did it like once. We like baited really hard, but it's really hard there because there's always a meathead usually.
It kind of suffers from a lot of the same problems that it doesn't have a whole lot you can. It has a lot of entrances, but they're not very accessible.
They're not super viable. Yeah. And those side windows suck. Like. Yeah. They're kind of pointless. Like peeking from inside is horrible.
I don't know if it's much different than Allen's issues, to be honest, when it comes to the boss layer, because it really, we were saying a lot of the same things for Allen's. It's got a crank door, or you got to go up this stairwell. These other two doors are locked.
Allen's, we blow off the side door on the bottom, and we fucking run in sometimes. Like, where we blow off the door upstairs, we can fucking, the building isn't that big. We can choke off like a lot in Allen's.
Doesn't that go to strategy, though?
It does, but I feel like the boss layer itself is designed better to where we can, like, siege a little bit easier.
Yeah, I
feel
suppose
like
that's true.
KingSnake is harder to siege because...
Once you break into KingSnake, you're still kind of only... The battle's kind of only half done, and you don't really have a lot you can do after that.
Yeah, if we take control of the top area...
Yeah, where do you go now?
Yeah, we just... then have to try to get down one single choke to even do anything,
that's not gonna work.
Yeah
I could. Jesus fucking Christ. Toast.
Yeah,
hello.
It's not.
Thanks, pal.
I like the outside peak from the hill into that top area, but that's kind of all that it has to go for it.
So where do you have it in compared to Lumber, Bradley, Fishery, and Golden? Where does it sit for you?
It is...
Like, Golden is certainly more siegeable than mine.
Yeah, it's low D for me.
I think it's under that. Okay. Lawson.
I think Lawson...
This one's actually difficult because it's so big and has, like, there are things about it that I really like on, like, half of it, and then the other half I'm like, almost the opposite problems, like, really difficult.
I think Lawson's S tier.
Really?
Yeah. The reason I say that is I find both boss layers to be really cool. I like the double building connected with that ramp, like the metal ramp that goes down into the one boss layer.
That for me is kind of our problem building. I don't think sieging that building is a very easy thing to do.
We just fucking did it today, buddy.
Yeah, no, I know that, but that went much better than it could. You fucking bought both of them. That's the only reason it worked.
If there's a bunch of teams there, then it's like a hard fight.
Because you can't attack the front, really, because you're totally exposed to the whole other half of Lawson.
Yeah.
And then you're just so you have like two doors basically at that point that you can really work with on the side of it and on the back. And they're just single doors. Yeah. Well, the other one's a slider, I guess.
Or you could go down the ramp from the other building.
Which is doable, I suppose, but loud.
Yeah.
You can't really pick people in that building. There's nowhere to peek it from. I mean, there's not a single window that you can even
look out of.
You can't do anything. There's no way to, if they're just sitting in there, there's nothing you can do to really